Should drug dealers convicted of distributing large quantities of drugs receive the death penalty? Because the war on drugs started in the 1970s, it really scared the country into believing that drug dealers made their children not safe, and that they should get the death penalty because of it. Well, that's Americans' drug problems. So basically, if a drug dealer has not taken a life, then they don't deserve the death penalty. So now you think of the qualities of a businessman, what pops into your mind? Probably some gross, persistent man can just pay their bills. Now, what about a drug dealer? The image isn't that far off, is it really? The only time someone should really be given the death penalty is because they have taken a person's life. According to Newsday, sources said Pepin acceded to get a break on his sentence by admitting his involvement. This is something that happens often. Like, according to the Philadelphia Inquirer, Maris Phillips was convicted of running a multi-million-dollar distribution network. He will instead spend life in prison instead of the death sentence. Not all drug dealers are murderers, and that's something that needs to be clear. There are tons of people who sell drugs just to get by and make some money, and that is important. Not every drug dealer deserves to get the death penalty. Okay, so now something that most people don't understand. Just because someone sells drugs doesn't make them a terrible person. That's a really big thing that a lot of people need to pay attention to. Many drug dealers are addicts themselves and really just need help. They need to go to rehab or AA, not jail time. Another thing that needs to be kept in mind is that addicts are relentless. Just because one person gets caught for selling drugs doesn't mean that those addicts won't find another source to receive them from. A drug dealer had to serve 8 years in jail for a heroin overdose. According to the article, federal judge in Pittsburgh sentences a drug dealer to prison for heroin addict's death, and it stated that when you choose to deal heroin, said U.S. Attorney Craig Howler in pre-sentence fillings, you choose to risk killing someone else. This is a totally unacceptable criminal choice. And I don't believe that's 100% true because, like we said before, addicts are relentless, and just because they don't go to you doesn't mean they won't go to someone else. You should not be able to give someone the death penalty who hasn't taken a life, and according to the article, death penalty on British drug dealer in line with Chinese law, spokesman stated a 53-year-old man was sentenced to death in the first instance trial. Scared parents can be an extremely terrifying sight. Well, here are 3 misconceptions and realities that people should know the truth about. Number 1, a ton of people believe that drug dealers are murderers because they kill thousands of people a year with their products. Well, in all reality, most drug dealers are people who are living with their own addictions, and 9 out of 10 times, they only sell so that they can support their very own habit. They need help. Number 2, letting the courts have the decision whether or not people should get the death penalty. Yes, there should be a tougher sentencing, but no, the death penalty is not right. A life sentence would definitely suffice. 3, all legal drugs can kill you. False. Most legal drugs are worse than illegal ones. The solution can be very clear: education, awareness, and toughness. Number 1, by educating people on what to do if they are around drugs and need help. Number 2, make people be aware of drug bustings. According to President Trump, is officially proposing that we give drug traffickers the death penalty by Maya Reynolds. It is stated that the only way to solve the drug problem is through toughness. President Donald Trump has a good point in his 3-step plan that people need more awareness. And 3, a tougher sentencing, such as life in prison. In the article called The Death Penalty on British Drug Dealer in Line with Chinese Law Spokesman, it is stated that in Chinese court, sentence of death penalty on a British drug trafficker is in line with Chinese law. This will make a fair compromise that can help bring peace to the minds of parents and strike fear in dealers. Broadcasting drug busts will show other dealers that they can't get away with it. The New York drug dealer who thought confessing about his homicidal exploits might make him a friend to the police now faces the death penalty. This story was told in the academic one file that should be read by all people in pursuit of a career in the drug field. In the article, drug dealer gets life sentence, spared, death penalty. A man who was going to be given the death penalty was spared. How to help from home. Vote, donate, petition. Number 1, vote. Vote against the death penalty. 2, donate to an organization to help support people who suffer from opioid addiction. A father of 3 apologized and said he has battled from drug addiction for most of his life, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And 3rd, sign a petition. According to Rondon, President Trump is officially proposing that we give drug traffickers the death penalty. This is exactly what we're fighting against.